safer communities together.
Glenn's excuses so far have failed to impress police, and when he attempts another one, he gets an unusual response.
It's just going up the road to give me a pie or something.
You got some money?
About like $3.
How much?
$3.
$3. That buy you a pie?
At the BP station.
Okay. 3 o'clock in the morning, you're buying a pie from the BP station. What must you always do?
Not me.
3 o'clock in the morning, that pie's been in the warming drawer for probably about 12 hours. It'll be thermonuclear. You must always blow on the pie.
I'm hungry.
Always blow on the pie. Safer communities together. $3, that buy you a pie?
It is an internet sensation. It's all over Facebook and has even spawned music remixes. The video of the police officer giving some unusual advice to an offender on TV show Police 10/7 seems sure to cement itself in New Zealand's pop culture history. If you haven't seen it, this is what it looks like.
3 o'clock in the morning, you're buying a pie from the BP station. What must you always do? 3 o'clock in the morning, that pie's been in the warming drawer for probably about 12 hours. It'll be thermonuclear. You must always blow on the pie.
I'm hungry.
Always blow on the pie. Safer communities together.
Well, we managed to track down the quick-witted cop, Sergeant Guy Baldwin of Auckland's Police Dog Unit. He joins me now. Guy, good morning to you.
Good morning.
Great
Surreal to be here.
Surreal. It's thermonuclear in here. You were going to bring your police dog in, but you said he smells.
Yeah, he does a bit, so he'd be a bit unsettled, so you'll have to put it with me, I'm sorry.
When we played that little clip then, you winced. Are you a bit over it? What do you think when you see it?
I'm bemused. I really am bemused, just with the timing of it. This was all 5 years ago. It aired on TV about 3 years ago, and last night apparently, and here it is, big news. So.
How did you find out that, you know, this was... I mean, 75,000 people have seen it so far on YouTube. I mean, the line itself, you know, never, you know, always blown a pie, has taken off, hasn't it? How did you find out that you were so popular?
Oh, the obvious way, your friends ring you and tell you you're famous, and then someone else rings and says the same thing. So I panicked and, you know, thought, well, if I'm going to be a big celeb, I've got to get myself a personal chef. Yeah. You would have a personal chef.
A fluffer?
Well, a personal chef, and you've got a personal chef, obviously.
Oh, got it, absolutely.
Yeah.
And a fluffer.
So I rang my mate Rob, who's a chef, and he agreed. I lied and said there'd be a lot of travel involved. We're yet to travel, he's yet to cook, so...
So it hasn't completely taken off yet. Did they take the mickey out of you in the station?
Of course they did. Of course they did. Yeah, I'm getting it at work. You know, I was on my way to an aggravated robbery, and I called up for a description, and da-da-da-da-da, and...
over the radio?
Over the radio, yeah, and carrying a pie. You know, and then there's a barrage of... there's a barrage afterwards as well, so yeah, festa, beautiful moment, mate.
Just talking about the moment itself, you were obviously taking the mickey, but it's surprising how many people don't realise that.
Aren't sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the funny bit, I suppose.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Tell me what happened. Walk us very quickly through it.
It was 5 years ago, I can't really. Basically, speaking to this chap who we had been looking for, there had been some cars broken into. You'll note he's carrying a torch, and you know, at times...
That's police talk, isn't it? You'll note he's carrying a torch.
You'll note, yeah. And look, we were buying for a little bit of time, and we make up a bit of conversation as we go. Bit of humour. Sadly, he missed it. And here we are on TV 5 years later.
Was he locked up in the end? I believe
so, yeah.
I don't think he ever actually made it to the BP station,
no, he didn't.
Did he?
He was walking the wrong way anyway, so...
All right, let's talk about how popular you are. This is the South Park takeoff. It wasn't actually broadcast on South Park. It's the South Park takeoff of you and the offender.
Excuses so far have failed to impress police, and when he attempts another one, he gets an unusual response.
It's just going up the road to give me a pie or something.
You got some money?
About like $3.
How much?
$3.
$3. That buy you a pie?
At the BP station.
Okay. 3 o'clock in the morning, you're buying a pie from the BP station. What must you always do? 3 o'clock in the morning, that pie's been in the warming drawer for probably about 12 hours. It'll be thermonuclear, and it's always blowing the pie.
I'm hungry.
Always blowing the pie. Safer communities together.
What do Police National Headquarters think? Because you get the message across, safer communities together.
Thankfully, they haven't rung me yet, you know. And look, as a policeman, if we can make some people laugh, great, because in reality, what we do isn't funny, and that's the nature of the beast. So if people are laughing, then
it's
fantastic.
a good thing. And I think it is very good for police. And it spawned the new uniform from Mr. Vintage. Here, you will have heard about the new police uniform. You must always blow on the pie. So we've got this one for you from Mr. Vintage. You can wear that actually.
Oh, you're
today.
too kind, yeah.
That would be ideal, wouldn't
Look,
it?
a few people might be wearing this to the beach this year. Next year, they're probably wearing it to paint the house. That's probably the nature of it.
There'll be people asking for your autograph. Guy, thank you very much for coming in.
Thank you.
Thank you.
And that is a nice point about smiling, and what Guy said is true. You know, it's not always a pleasant job, and they don't always, you know, have to deal with the most pleasant circumstances. It's nice to smile about
And
it.
it is so nice to have the police and to talk about things like this. Because they are
Absolutely.
part of the community. Safer communities together.
$3 there buy your pie. What must you always do? Always blowing the pie. Safer communities together. $3 there buy your pie. What must you always do? Always blowing the pie. Safer communities together.
Hi, I'm Sarah. Welcome to the Daily English Show. Today we're going to start getting into the English study again, and we're going to study a video clip. This video is from a New Zealand reality TV show called Police 10-7, and the clip seems to have become quite popular on the internet recently, in New Zealand anyway, because people think it's funny, and I think it's funny too, so I thought I'd try and explain the situation and why I think it's funny, and talk about a bit of the language. A police officer is talking to a guy in the street, and they think he's been involved in a crime, but this officer is waiting for some more police officers to arrive, so he's just talking to the guy, and he's trying to buy a bit of time. And the guy's been doing something like stealing stuff, but he makes up a few stories about what he's been doing, and he says, "I was just going up the road to get me a pie or something." It's interesting how he uses me instead of myself. He says to get me a pie instead of to get myself a pie or just to get a pie. And that's pretty common in a certain variety of informal spoken English in New Zealand. By a pie, he doesn't mean an apple pie or some kind of dessert. He means a kind of savoury pie with various fillings. That's a kind of popular junk food in New Zealand. Then the officer says a joke. He asks the guy, 3 o'clock in the morning and you're buying a pie from the BP station. What must you always do? I don't know. 3 o'clock in the morning, that pie's been in the warming drawer for probably about 12 hours. It'll be thermonuclear. You must always blow on the pie. I'm hungry. Always blow on the pie. Safer communities together. I think it's mostly funny because of the delivery. He says it very seriously, well, pretending to be serious, but he's actually joking. That kind of delivery is called deadpan. It's also funny that he says the New Zealand police slogan, safer communities together. So go and watch the video and tell me what you think. Do you think it's funny? Today's word is ditch. Ditch is a noun, which means a narrow channel dug to hold or carry water. There are usually ditches on either side of the road, so if you crash your car, you might end up in a ditch. Ditch is also an informal verb. It says here, to get rid of something, somebody, because you no longer want or need it, then. The guy in the video is explaining to the police officer why he's such a long way from home at 3 o'clock in the morning, and he says, my mates dropped me off and ditched me. He means that his friends stopped the car and let him out and then drove off and left him there for some reason. What's that in your pocket? No, what's that? Why have you got a torch? Why do you need to see around? Just my CD player. It's just a torch. I don't know, just to see around. Why did the guy have a torch in his pocket? A. He was camping. B. There was a power cat. C. Just to see around. C. What did he say he was doing? A. Going to buy a new torch. B. Going to buy a pie. C. Going to steal something. B. What did the police officer say you must always do? A. Always carry a torch. B. Always blow on the pie. C. Never blow on the pie. B. Why is the guy in trouble? A. He was carrying a torch. B. He didn't blow on the pie. C. He broke the law. C. What is the motto of the New Zealand Police? A. Safer communities together. B. Safer community pies. C. Always blow on the pie. A. And that was the Daily English Show.
$3, they buy you 5. What must you always do? Always blow on the pie, safer communities together. Always blow on the pie. You got some money? $3, they buy you 5. What must you always do? Always blow on the pie, safer communities together. Get your name, eh? Three o'clock in the morning, you're buying a pipe from the BP station. What must you always do? Three o'clock in the morning, that pie's been in the warming drawer for probably about 12 hours. It'll be thermonuclear. You must always blow on the pie. Always blow on the pie, safe communities together. $3, they buy you 5. What must you always do? Always blow on the pie, safer communities together.